actor and a great human being that I was a fan of before and was lucky enough to become a friend of Dad, Josh Hamilton. And finally, the entire reason we are all here, the coolest girl in the world, Elsie Hechinger.
Team fell in love with this film because the character of Kayla is so heartbreakingly real. I think anyone who's ever been that age recognizes something of themselves in her. Do you have a specific inspiration for the character?
I mean, I see more of myself in her now than that age. I mean, I was someone that went to a pool party and hit puberty late and had my hands under my arms because I didn't have hair under my arms. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to write something about the internet, and I wanted to write something about my own anxiety and how it felt, and I started writing some big, large story with 10 intersecting characters, and I sort of stumbled on her, thinking I would need all those characters to talk about the things I wanted to, and I stumbled on this voice and found that I could just say everything I wanted and more through her, and it felt right, and it felt like I understood her to some degree, and then so much of the things I didn't understand were filled in by collaborating with Elsie during the process.
Yeah, finding Elsie to play Kayla must have been such a huge part of the process. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Can you talk about it? Yeah, I was just like on the internet looking for videos of young actors that I thought could play this, and I stumbled on a video of her on some brown carpet talking about like cupcakes or something, and she was immediately incredible, and I wasn't sure if she could act, but I felt like this was the person. So I was rooting for her before I met her, and then she came into Reed, and it was like Dr. Frankenstein. It was just alive for the first time when she read it, truly. And I tested her 3 or 4 times, but I never saw anybody else, and it was never anyone else but her. And I remember writing it for her, which I know isn't the truth because I wrote this 2 years before I met her. But yeah, she's inextricable from the final thing for sure.
Yes, please, right there.
Could you talk about the Truth or Dare scene?
Yes.
Where it came from and then how you felt?
About the Truth or Dare scene.
Where it came from, how I felt about it, without getting too specific, the idea of being young and taken advantage of by someone older than you is not foreign to me personally, but I felt that it's true and something that happens and something that needs to be shown. And I'm really, really impressed with the work that Elsie and Daniel did in that scene. I thought they navigated a really difficult scene very beautifully. And yeah, to maybe portray a certain type of young, toxic male behavior that advertised itself as sweet and understanding and sensitive, but is anything but. And you know, Oliviere and Riley representing 2 different people that have power over Kayla, but use them for opposite reasons. I mean, it's a really uncomfortable scene, a really difficult scene, and it was weird hearing people laugh because it's just, it's a reaction you have to something really uncomfortable. I mean, Kayla's laughing in the scene, there's nothing funny about what's going on. But yeah, we just tried to approach it very sensitively and very honestly, and I'm so, so happy with the work they did. I think they both were very, very vulnerable and honest in it, so that's all I do.
Yes, please.
The score almost feels like a character in the film.
Yeah.
When you wrote it, did you already know that you wanted to use the score in that way, or did the composer really bring that afterward?
He's asking about the score. I didn't, but I had a very specific vision for the score in my mind. I wanted something electronic, but I wanted it to be warm and accessible, and you know, electronic music can be pretty aggro and cold, and I wanted something human and accessible. And I thought I was describing something that didn't exist, and then I stumbled on Anna, and she's incredible. If you even heard her music, she does her own solo electronic albums, and it's unbelievable. And what she is she's sensitive, and it feels human, but it isn't. I wanted the score to make her experience larger, not to make it twee or sort of project some sort of memory onto her, but to show how vibrant and violent and strange her experiences are. And Anna has an amazing theatrical ability to write. But you write it, you talk about it.
Well, it was amazing. This is my first film soundtrack, and I loved doing it, and I had an amazing time with Bo working on the soundtrack. But exactly what Bo was saying about what I loved was his idea that that Kayla approaches everything with such energy, and so I think we really wanted every bit that I was scoring to feel, to feel, to really live with her and not be casting judgment but to just to be inside of her head and pushing as much energy as she would be into every thing she's terrified about or excited about. So yeah, I absolutely loved every minute. It was amazing.
Yes, please.
The dialogue, it felt really natural, like the entire way through, and I was curious as to how accurate it was in production to when you wrote it on page.
You can speak to this too. I will just say very quickly, like, it is much more written than it appears. I don't say that for the script, I say that on Elsie's behalf. Like, the script said, so yeah, so the thing about growing up is sort of, so her performance is very technical and precise, and I saw that take after take. It wasn't about, okay, let's just capture the chaos of what you are on screen. The scenes were way more written than they appear. I mean, it's like the Rick and Morty riff is improvised, and some of the high school stuff is improvised. But why don't you talk about Elsie?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So with a lot of the dialogue, I mean, I just kind of Bo writes it so well, and it feels real, and he puts in and it like, I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't need a lot of work to translate it, into the scene, because it's such a like precise kind of thing per se, I guess.
And I told her all the time, like, you know what it's like to be a 13-year-old. I don't. So like, you tell me the truth. If this doesn't sound right, it's the script's fault. It's not yours. So like, and don't worry if you stumble over a line. I didn't say a complete sentence until I was 24, So like, but really, like, I wanted to embrace this sort of, I was just trying in the script to mimic the way she would speak. So, and even the rehearsal process was for the script, not for her. So I was just trying to capture her voice, not the other way around.
What directors are you inspired by, or other films?
In this space, Catherine Breillat's film, To My Sister, and Marissa Silver, and Todd Solondz, he's a little mean, but Andrea Arnold, and I don't know, John Cassavetes, who am I kidding? I don't know, but yeah, To My Sister. Yeah, Marissa Silver is a wonderful film, old enough, that's about this age, and yeah, Catherine Breillat for sure. Yeah. Stanley Kubrick? I mean, who am I kidding? Yeah, it's hard, good question, but in that, those are the ones those are the films that inspired me in this space.
Well, I know you have a lot of experience writing, and you're a very personal comedian. Is there any specific problems that you encountered during production that you could talk about as a first-time director?
Sure, I mean, all the problems, apparently. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating and crazy and weird, and I'm stressing out, and then I would go to the monitor and see her performance and be like, oh, this is all I'm doing. Like, all I have to do is attend to this. So, I mean, what wasn't a problem were the kids. The kids across the board were incredible, and there were no incidents. No one cried, no one froze on camera, no one fought. I think 2 high school extras were caught, like, making out at one point. But it was just, I couldn't believe how incredible they were. I think it might have something to do with the fact that, like, they all have cameras in their pockets, so what is one more camera in the space for them? But problems, yeah, it's just hard, and you make your days, and we had 9-hour days because it's real 13-year-olds, so yeah, just keep moving and things. But it was, I just tried to learn as few lessons as I could without me having a piece of crap and saying, well, I learned a lot, So, but yeah, it was tough.
Relationship with Josh, you said you wrote this for him, or you worked with him before?
No, I was just a big fan of his. I mean, I didn't write with any specific actor in mind, but then when I started thinking about it, he was the best. He's just a kind, smart, articulate, gentle, loving person. And then he confirmed that.
Just just one more
At
question.
some point, I actually wanted the film to afford Kayla some privacy, you know, to know that we don't fully know her or what she's going through, and we really only know this 5 days that we're following her, and there's a bigger story here that we don't have access to. So that's sort of my answer to that. Is a stupid dodge, but how old are you, Elsie?
I'm 14. Woo! Yeah!
Elsie graduated 8th grade.
Yeah.
A week later, we started production. A week after production, she went to high school.
And I think it's really perfect because I was able to take from my experiences just coming out of 8th grade in my actual final week and just really translate them into this kind of,
And how's high school going?
It's cool. Not my favorite, but whatever.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you all for coming. Don't forget to vote.